Dynamics 365 for Talent has the ability to automatically send emails on several different occasions. Automated emails may be required, for example, with workflow or batch alerts, for example. You can also use another feature called the email broadcast to manually send an email to all of the users in your system or just the users that are currently signed in. In order to use Dynamics 365 for Talent to send emails automatically, you'll need to configure the email parameters. They are found underneath the System Administration area, and then you'll click Email Parameters in the Email group. This will open up a page that looks similar to what you see on my screen. There are two tabs, Email Providers and SMTP Settings. On the Email Providers tab, you'll need to select the Batch Email Provider from the drop-down box. You can also specify a size limit. On the Enabled Interactive Email Providers FAST tab, you'll need to select which email providers will be activated. In this case, you can see that I have 3 providers configured, one for Exchange, one for EML, and one for SMTP. You can use the arrows in the center of the screen to move an email provider from the Available pane over to the Enabled pane. Only enabled providers will be available to send the emails automatically. When you're using SMTP, you'll need to click on the SMTP Settings tab. Here, you'll have additional information that you'll need to specify about the outgoing mail server, the port, username, and password for your SMTP server. You'll also need to specify if you want to use default credentials and specify whether or not SSL will be required when you're using SMTP for emailing. Let's talk a little bit more about email messages now. You have the ability to define email templates that will be used when you're sending out email broadcasts or for alerts and workflows, for example. Different email templates can be used in different scenarios. There's no limit to the number of email templates that you can configure. Here in my example, you can see that we have 2 email templates, one for a user request and one for the workflow email template. By clicking the email message button at the top of the form, you can actually see and define the actual layout of the email template. This opens up a dialog where you can browse and upload the template from another file, or you can manually type in the HTML formatting for that email template. Email templates can also include placeholders that will be updated with actual system data. For example, in a workflow email, you could include the worker name of a particular new hire request in the body of the email or the subject of the email. In order for a user to send an email automatically from Talent, you'll need to configure some user options. Each user can configure their own user options by clicking on the settings icon in the upper right-hand corner and then selecting User Options. A system administrator can also configure the user options for all of the users. This is done by navigating to System Administration, opening Users, selecting a user from the list, and then clicking the User Options button. That will open up a new screen, and on the Account tab from that screen, you can enter some basic information about the email provider and the email address for that user. Let's switch over to the Talent interface, and I'll show you how to perform these steps.